What is the Universe Trying to Tell You? By James R. Sterling. What if the universe has been trying to reach you, whispering, nudging, even shouting, but you've been missing the signs? Have you ever thought about someone only for them to call moments later? Or maybe you've had a gut feeling so strong it felt like an invisible force guiding you toward or away from something. These aren't just coincidences, they're messages. The universe is always communicating, whether through synchronicities, intuitive hunches, or unexpected obstacles that force you to rethink your path. But most people are too distracted to notice. Imagine if you could decode these messages, understand the guidance hidden in the patterns of your life. What if you could recognize when the universe is giving you a green light or warning you to change direction? What if life itself is a conversation and you just need to learn how to listen? In this audiobook, we'll dive deep into the subtle and not so subtle ways the universe sends you signals. We'll explore why these messages appear, how to interpret them, and what to do when you start noticing them everywhere. Because once you tune in, you'll never see the world the same way again. The question isn't whether the universe is speaking to you, it's whether you're finally ready to hear it. Chapter 1. Signs, Synchronicities, and Gut Feelings. Your phone buzzes, you glance down, and there it is. The name of the exact person you were just thinking about. Or maybe you're debating a big decision, and suddenly you see the same phrase pop up on a billboard, in a book, and in a conversation with a friend. You brush it off as coincidence. But what if it's something more? The idea that the universe communicates with us isn't just a mystical notion. It's something many people experience, even if they don't always recognize it. These messages often come in subtle but powerful ways. Signs, synchronicities, and gut feelings. When you learn to pay attention, you'll start to see that guidance is all around you. Signs are those unexpected moments that feel like they were meant just for you. They might come in the form of repeating numbers like 1111 or 222, overhearing a conversation that answers your question, or stumbling across a book or video that perfectly aligns with your thoughts. Synchronicities, on the other hand, are those uncanny, meaningful coincidences. Events that seem too perfectly timed to be random. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, coined the term synchronicity to describe the mysterious ways life events seem to connect. He believed these occurrences weren't just chance, but reflections of a deeper order, what some might call the universe aligning events in your favor. While signs and synchronicities appear outside of you, intuition is the inner compass guiding you from within. Have you ever had a gut feeling about something, an inexplicable knowing that turned out to be right? That's intuition, your direct line to the wisdom of the universe. Unlike overanalyzing or rationalizing, intuition is quick, quiet, and deeply personal. You might experience it as a strong yes or no feeling without logical reasoning, a sudden thought or idea that won't go away, or physical sensations like a tightening in your stomach or an unexpected sense of calm. Many of us are conditioned to dismiss these feelings as just in our heads. But what if they're actually signals pointing us in the right direction? The universe is always speaking. It's just a matter of whether you're listening. The more you acknowledge and act on these signs, the more they seem to appear. To start tuning in, pay attention to patterns. If you keep seeing or hearing the same thing, pause and reflect on its meaning. Keep a sign journal and write down synchronicities and gut feelings to track recurring themes. Trust your instincts. When something feels right or wrong, honor that inner knowing. Whether it's through a song on the radio, a stranger's advice, or an undeniable gut feeling, the universe is guiding you every step of the way. The question is, are you ready to listen? Chapter 2. Coincidence or Cosmic Guidance. You're rushing through your day, lost in thought, when suddenly you see the same repeating number. Again, maybe it's 1111 on the clock, a license plate with your birth date, or the exact phrase you were just thinking about popping up in a conversation. You pause for a moment, wondering, is this just a random event, or is something bigger at play? Most people shrug off these experiences as coincidences, but what if they're not? What if these little nudges are actually the universe trying to get your attention? Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, coined the term synchronicity to describe moments where unrelated events seem meaningfully connected. He believed these meaningful coincidences weren't just chance, but signs that we're in alignment with something greater than ourselves. Think about it. How often have you received an unexpected call from someone you were just thinking about? Or stumbled upon exactly the information you needed at just the right time? These moments can feel like luck, but they may be cosmic guidance in disguise. When we're open to receiving, life has a way of orchestrating the perfect sequence of events to help us grow, shift, or even avoid something that isn't meant for us. But how do you tell the difference between a random event and a true sign? Pay attention to how it makes you feel. A real sign has a certain energy. It stands out. It sparks curiosity or stirs something deep within you. Maybe you've been considering a new job and suddenly everywhere you turn, you see references to that field. Or perhaps you've been struggling with a decision and out of nowhere, a stranger shares advice that speaks directly to your situation. Following these signs doesn't mean blindly chasing every coincidence, but rather tuning in and reflecting. The universe isn't handing out a step-by-step guide. It's offering subtle guidance, like a compass nudging you in the right direction. If something keeps appearing in your life, if a pattern continues to show up, it's worth asking yourself, what is this trying to tell me? Coincidences might be easy to dismiss, but when you start paying attention, you may realize they're more like breadcrumbs leading you exactly where you need to go. Chapter 3, Decoding the Universe's Language. You're walking down the street, lost in thought, when a song plays from a nearby cafe, one that reminds you of a person or decision that's been weighing on your mind. Is it just background noise, or is the universe trying to tell you something? In a world filled with distractions, how do you tell the difference between random events and meaningful messages? The universe speaks in subtle, personal ways. It doesn't shout instructions or send flashing neon signs. It whispers, nudges, and repeats messages until we pay attention. The challenge isn't whether the universe is communicating with us, but whether we're tuned in enough to understand its language. First, let's address the noise. Not every random occurrence is a message. Sometimes a number is just a number, and a dream is just a dream. But real signs tend to stand out. They strike a chord, feel oddly specific, or show up repeatedly. You might hear the same phrase from multiple sources in a short time, see a recurring symbol, or feel an inner knowing that something is significant. Clarity is key to deciphering what's meaningful. If your mind is cluttered with doubt, stress, or endless distractions, it's easy to miss important guidance. This is where intuition comes in, the quiet, inner voice that speaks in feelings rather than words. Think of it like tuning a radio. The signal is always there, but you have to adjust the frequency to hear it clearly. So how do you strengthen your awareness of personal signs? Start with a simple practice. At the end of each day, reflect on moments that stood out. Did anything feel oddly timed or deeply relevant? Write it down. Over time, patterns will emerge, and you'll start recognizing how the universe communicates with you. Understanding the universe's language isn't about forcing meaning into every little thing. It's about developing the awareness to recognize when something is truly speaking to you. The more you listen, the clearer the messages become. Chapter 4. When the universe says no, you set a goal, put in the effort, visualize the outcome, and take action, only to hit an unexpected roadblock. The job you applied for doesn't come through. The relationship you thought was meant to last falls apart. The opportunity you were counting on vanishes. In those moments, it's easy to feel like life is against you, like the universe is closing doors without reason. But what if that no wasn't rejection at all? What if it was redirection? When things don't go our way, we often assume we've failed, that we're being punished, or that we weren't good enough. But the universe doesn't operate on a simple yes or no system. Every roadblock, every delay, and every disappointment carries a message. It's just a matter of seeing it. A no from the universe often means not this, not yet. Something better is coming. The challenge is trusting that truth before we can see the bigger picture. Think back to a time when something didn't work out the way you wanted, only for you to later realize why it wasn't meant for you. Maybe you didn't get the job you desperately wanted, only to land a better one that aligned more with your passion. Maybe a relationship ended, and years later, you found yourself with someone who truly understood and uplifted you. The universe isn't taking things away to make you suffer. It's making room for what's actually aligned with your highest potential. So how do you shift your perspective when faced with rejection? Instead of resisting every setback, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? What new path is opening up that I might not have noticed before? The more we look for meaning in what's happening, the clearer the signs become. Life's no moments are never the end of the road. They are reroutes. Instead of seeing rejection as failure, see it as guidance. The universe is always working with you, even when it feels like it's working against you. The road ahead might be different than you imagine, but it could also be leading you to something far greater than you ever planned. Trust the detours. They often take you exactly where you need to be. Chapter 5. Aligning yourself with universal flow. Have you ever felt like you're constantly pushing against something, trying to force things to happen on your timeline? You set a goal, take action, but no matter how hard you push, things don't unfold the way you expect. It's frustrating, exhausting, and sometimes discouraging. But what if the key to receiving what you truly want isn't about forcing, it's about flowing? Aligning yourself with the universe means understanding that there is a natural rhythm to everything. Just like the ocean has tides and the seasons change without being forced, life also has its own timing. When you trust in that timing instead of resisting it, things begin to unfold with more ease. This doesn't mean you stop taking action. It means you stop gripping so tightly to the how and when of your desires. One of the most powerful ways to stay in alignment is through mindfulness. When you're fully present in the moment, you become more attuned to opportunities, gut feelings, and synchronicities. Instead of rushing ahead or dwelling on what hasn't happened yet, mindfulness keeps you open to what is happening. Try this. The next time you feel impatient or restless, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is unfolding for me right now? Instead of demanding answers, simply listen. Another tool to strengthen alignment is visualization, not from a place of desperation, but from a place of trust. Picture your ideal outcome, but instead of worrying about when it will happen, imagine how it will feel when it does. Feel the gratitude, the excitement, and the certainty that it is already in motion. Let that feeling carry you through the waiting periods, knowing that just because you don't see movement yet doesn't mean nothing is happening. A simple daily practice to deepen trust in the universe is this. Each morning, take a moment to express gratitude, not just for what you already have, but for what's coming. Say, I trust that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if I can't see it yet. By shifting from control to trust, from resistance to flow, you align yourself with the very energy that makes things happen. The universe moves in its own divine timing. Your job is to stay present, stay open, and trust the process. Chapter 6. The role of intuition in universal guidance. You've probably had moments where something just felt right, or, on the flip side, moments where something felt off, but you couldn't explain why. Maybe you met someone new and instantly sensed their energy wasn't aligned with yours. Or perhaps you felt an unshakable pull toward an opportunity that didn't make logical sense. But deep down, you knew it was the right move. That inner knowing, that's your intuition, and it's one of the most powerful ways the universe communicates with you. Intuition isn't loud or dramatic. It doesn't scream or demand attention like fear does. Instead, it's a quiet nudge, a soft whisper, a gut feeling that something is either in flow or not. The problem is, most people are so caught up in the noise of daily life that they ignore or second-guess their intuitive guidance. They rely solely on logic, dismissing their feelings as irrational or unimportant. But intuition is not random. It's a deeper intelligence that connects you to something beyond the surface level of reality. So how can you strengthen your intuition and trust it more? Start by getting quiet. Your intuition thrives in stillness. Practices like meditation, breath work, and even spending time in nature help clear mental clutter and make it easier to hear that inner voice. You can also keep an intuition journal. Each time you get a gut feeling, whether it's about a person, a decision, or a situation, write it down. Later, reflect on whether that feeling was accurate. Over time, you'll start to notice patterns and develop greater confidence in your inner knowing. Another way to deepen intuition is through body awareness. Your body often senses things before your mind can rationalize them. Pay attention to subtle physical cues, tightness in your chest, a flutter in your stomach, a sudden sense of calm or excitement. These sensations are signals guiding you toward or away from something. Most importantly, start acting on your intuition, even in small ways. The more you trust it, the stronger it becomes. If something tells you to take a different route home, make a certain phone call, or say yes to an unexpected opportunity, follow that nudge. The universe is constantly guiding you. It's just a matter of whether you're listening. Chapter 7, Messages in Dreams and Meditation. Have you ever woken up from a dream that felt so vivid, so real, that it lingered in your mind for hours or even days? Or maybe you've had the experience of sitting in meditation when suddenly a thought, an image, or a deep knowing seem to appear out of nowhere. These moments aren't random. Dreams and meditation are powerful channels through which the universe and your own subconscious send messages. Dreams are a direct line to the unconscious mind. While the logical, analytical part of your brain rests during sleep, your subconscious is free to process emotions, insights, and universal guidance without interference. This is why answers to pressing life questions often come through dreams. Recurring symbols, themes, or even direct messages can reveal deep truths that your waking mind may struggle to recognize. To better understand the messages in your dreams, start by keeping a dream journal. Place a notebook beside your bed, and as soon as you wake up, jot down anything you remember, no matter how fragmented or strange. Over time, patterns may emerge. Maybe you repeatedly dream of a particular place, animal, or situation. Rather than dismissing these details, ask yourself, what could this symbolize? How do I feel in these dreams? Often, the emotional tone of a dream provides as much insight as the images themselves. Meditation, on the other hand, is a waking tool for tuning into universal wisdom. When you quiet your mind, you create space for intuitive messages to come through. The trick is learning to listen without forcing anything. A simple way to receive guidance during meditation is to ask a question before you begin. It could be as specific as, what should I focus on next in my career? Or as open-ended as, what does the universe want me to know? Then sit in stillness and allow whatever thoughts, sensations, or images arise to flow without judgment. The answer might not come in words. It could be a feeling, a color, or a memory that suddenly makes sense. Both dreams and meditation are like cosmic whispers, gentle nudges guiding you toward deeper understanding and clarity. The more you pay attention to them, the more clearly their messages will come through. Chapter 8, Taking Inspired Action. Recognizing signs from the universe is one thing, acting on them is another. Too often, people wait for perfect clarity, expecting a flashing neon sign that spells out exactly what they should do next. But here's the truth. Signs don't replace action. They're guideposts, not guarantees. At some point, you have to take a step forward, even if you're unsure where the path leads. Have you ever felt an undeniable pull toward something? A career change, a move, or even just reaching out to a certain person, but hesitated because you weren't 100% certain? That's where many people get stuck. They receive signs, feel the intuitive nudge, but fear keeps them from acting. They worry about making the wrong decision, so they do nothing at all. But the universe doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for movement. Taking inspired action means trusting the guidance you've received and then meeting the universe halfway. If you keep seeing a recurring sign, maybe a specific book title keeps appearing, or a new opportunity keeps coming up in conversation, it's a cue to take action. It doesn't mean you have to quit your job tomorrow or uproot your life overnight, but it does mean taking a step in that direction. Small steps create momentum. If you're drawn to a certain field, start researching it. If an idea keeps nagging at you, write it down. If you feel a pull to connect with someone, send that message. These seemingly small actions build energy, opening new doors that wouldn't have appeared if you'd stayed still. Consider stories of people who followed their signs and took a leap of faith. Many successful entrepreneurs, artists, and even world-changing leaders didn't have absolute certainty before they made their moves. They followed their gut, took action despite their fears, and doors open that they never could have predicted. The universe can show you the way, but only you can walk the path. The key is to trust the signs, but more importantly, trust yourself. What's one action, big or small, you can take today toward the life you feel called to create? The answer may be simpler than you think. Trusting the process. The universe is always communicating. You just have to decide whether you're willing to listen. Every day you're surrounded by messages, nudges, and opportunities. But if you're too distracted, skeptical, or afraid, they can easily slip by unnoticed. The good news? You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to stay open, aware, and willing to trust the process. It's easy to second-guess the signs you receive, to wonder if you're just imagining things. But the more you pay attention, the more undeniable they become. The universe isn't here to hand you all the answers on a silver platter. It's here to guide you, to help you grow, and to push you toward the path that aligns with your highest potential. That's why trusting the process is so important. Not every sign will make sense immediately. Not every roadblock will feel like a gift in the moment. But with time and reflection, you'll start to see how the pieces fit together. The unexpected detours, the doors that closed, the gut feelings that led you in a different direction, they were all part of something bigger. So what's next? Keep watching, keep listening, and most importantly, keep moving. Stay curious about the signs that appear, lean into your intuition, and take inspired action when the moment feels right. The universe will continue to show up for you, but you have to meet it halfway. Thank you for joining us on this journey of self-discovery. If you found value in today's content, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more empowering audiobooks and insights. And make sure to check the description below for more information, links to our other content, and ways to stay connected with us. Your journey within starts here. Let's grow together. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and stay inspired.